Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 378 of FloWrestling Radio Live. I am your host, Christian Piles, joined as always by my mainest man, Willie Saylor. Willie in HD. I'm not sure what happened or why, but he looks so much better. We finally got the hard line for the internet. Maybe that was it. Maybe it's just the Lord is shining down on you, but you look great, buddy.
Thanks. I think it's my diet. I've been eating cleaner. And,
really? Eat clean, bro?
Eat clean, bro, and then you come through in high def. No, I don't know I don't know why it's clearer, not pixelated as much. Did the same thing I do every other day.
Well, we're just excited for it. To my left, Daniel Roy Lobdell Jr.,
Hi.
a.k.a. the Lord of Winterfell. And straight away, Kyle Brackey, Stephen Kyle. And, boy, super dark. Trying to stay trying to stay off the grid there.
Is he going to release state secrets today?
I don't know. We're going to learn about the dark web or something from Kyle Brackey.
It looks like the Battle of Winterfell over there.
Yeah, it's very dark. Yeah, you can't see anything.
Yeah.
I'm just
Right.
I'm just guessing where Brackey might be. We've got the whole crew here. We're excited. And speaking of Game of Thrones, in a little bit, like after the show basically, but the show won't end, Cyon's going to come on and we're going to do a whole Game of Thrones recap thing. Talk about the whole show.
Nice.
So that's going to be fun.
I'm going to Sassari. Me and Joe Kenya are going to Sassari, which is an island off of Italy, Sardinia, which they filmed some of the Game of Thrones at.
That sounds romantic. Do you want to say why you're going there? Because people probably don't know.
Call it. Are you going to call me on that? They did not film anything there.
I don't know. How would I know that, Willie?
Bad seg. I thought Nomad would say for sure you're lying. Sassari, it's going to be great. There's a lot of Russians there.
All right, no more
And
set
Chorizo.
locations.
Well, you just said expound on it.
Oh, okay. Well, then you didn't really expound on it. You went the other way. So, okay. World Team Trials are done. Final X is set. All 30 matchups. As Nomad throws up his X. And I think we should start with juniors because juniors happened. It was exciting. There were a couple really interesting series where you learned a lot. Willie, some takeaways from juniors right off the top?
Well, I think our team is strong down low. I don't know. I mean, I think there's a couple tiers of our team. I think we have some really strong guys. You got to love Vito starting things off for us. He's very good. He's experienced. He has that cadet level stuff. He won U23s here domestically last year. And then, David Carr has experience, but we have a lot of guys that are kind of raw. And I don't know. I don't know if I would describe.
I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know if I would describe them as raw. I would just say they haven't made world teams yet. I mean, think of someone like Brayton. Brayton's entered every tournament under the sun for the last couple of years. Has tons of freestyle.
Sure, but look at the back half of our Tanner Sloan. Tanner Sloan never wrestled a freestyle tournament. That was like his first major ever with the U.S. Open. Mason Paris didn't wrestle Mason Paris didn't wrestle a freestyle tournament until Fargo last year. I mean, these guys have one or two tournaments under their belt.
Yes, they are good examples.
Trent Hidley's been around the block, but he doesn't have a whole ton of it. I don't know. I just don't know what to expect. We could have a Mekhi Lewis. Mekhi Lewis takes 6th at the U.S. Open in his first major tournament ever, his second major tournament ever, or I guess he wins the trials, but then he wins the world championship. So I think there's talent there. Brayton Lee, for his first world team too. There's talent there. I just don't know what the expectation should be. Last year, how is America going to feel about this when this team, when in 2017 we win the title, in 2018 everybody's expecting to win the title. Me and Nomad said, pump the brakes a little bit. We're going to be in the thick of things, but it's not gold or bust. And then Dayton loses a match, Gable loses a match, and people's started losing their mind. It's the World Championships. It's tough. So what are they going to feel now in 2019 when we have this team that, I mean, we could win a team medal or we could take ninth?
Yeah, I don't know. I think we'll probably do a little better than you're I don't think the floor is, or the basement is as far down as maybe you believe. But you could be right. And this is certainly not, if you could handpick our team in terms of credentials and guys that we know can perform at this level, yeah, it would maybe look a little differently. But these are the guys that are going. And, you think about someone like Colin Moore, who the arc on some of these kids is so high, right? Like they can go from 5th or 7th at the Open to you make a team to I'm in the world team camp for a couple months and now I'm really good at this.
Well, and a couple
Kai Lewis as well. Kai Lewis lost to Jeremiah Moody in April and was a world champ in whatever month that happened, and then won NCAAs. Like it can happen quick with these guys.
There's two sort of benefits in that sort of we're I don't want to say weak. I mean, y'all know I love Mason Paris, right? To the extent that some people say we love him too much and we overhype him. But the good thing is that they'll get a lot of camp time, and worlds are generally weaker. If there's any weak weights at junior worlds and cadet worlds, it's in the upper weights.
For sure. I mean, yeah.
100%.
We've medaled there pretty frequently. Even Nathan Butler was someone we were like, oh, I'm not sure how he's going to do there.
He took bronze.
He came back with bronze. So, yeah, excellent.
No,
excellent
I mean,
point there.
Let's get to it. I know that probably Iowa fans are upset that I tweeted that I was sort of ticked off that Cassiope and Warner and Abe Assad weren't in the field, and I'm not going to say that anybody needs to go anywhere, right? I've said this a million times. If you don't go to Fargo, if you don't go to Super 32, that's your prerogative. I don't think everybody needs to wrestle everywhere. But man, isn't it not deflating when you have this guy sitting in the finals that just mopped up Anthony Cassiope? I'm talking about. He just mopped up the field. He's by far our best shot. He might have been one of the best in the world last year as he was behind Gable Steveson. Now he just ragdolled everybody in our country. He's sitting in the best of 3 finals. We really need a quality heavyweight to solidify our team, and he's just like, or the coaching staff is just like, nah, I'm out. I'm not picking on Iowa or Branson.
Well, the reason Iowa fans are taking issue with that, Willie, is because a year ago Penn State as an entire program punted on international wrestling, and I don't remember.
Well,
what?
I don't feel like that's the same. I don't feel like that's the same at all. It's me saying I'm bummed that Cassiope and Warner didn't go to juniors. It's not the same as, what you gave Nolf and all them a pass last year. First of all, I didn't give them a pass. Second of all, they were not even close to being in the position that
Zane Rutherford was on the team. He literally made the team in 2017.
Well, the difference is also senior versus junior. Penn State didn't wrestle any guys. None of those guys had junior eligibility. It was all senior level guys. And I for one was extremely mad about it, and I chalked it up to they're trying to overload for 2019, and then what we thought was going to happen, they got 2020 Olympic trials, and they were going to try to set themselves up for that. Iowa's clearly trying to set themselves up for a 2020 NCAA title.
It's identical.
The circumstances are they had a plan, and they went with that plan. Now, it was a little confusing that Cassiope went to the Open and won, and then didn't go to the trials. That was like, well, why did you go to the Open then? That I could understand Willie being mad about, but as far as they both had a plan and they both executed the plan.
Let's be clear. I'm upset about Cassiope and Warner. I mean, like if it's Spencer, I guess he has some. It's Cassiope and Warner. I want our junior team to be great. I want our junior team to do well to the extent that the preview show that we did for the trials, I was saying, man, I kind of wish that Gable was wrestling juniors. Now we'll get into that in a little bit, but yeah, I take our junior team very seriously, and I'm bummed that Cassiope isn't on it. I'm bummed more that Cassiope didn't go to the trials than Zane did last year, because guess what? we have comparable talent at 65 seniors to Zane Rutherford last year. I don't know if we have comparable talent to Anthony Cassiope senior or a junior heavyweight.
Well, yeah, potentially, but Zane would have been our guy last year, clearly. I mean, we're talking senior world, and you have to prioritize. I mean, I don't know why you prioritize juniors over seniors. That's the thing. I mean, juniors is amazing. It's one of the toughest tournaments in the world, but seniors is the pinnacle of our sport. And we didn't have our best guy at 65 last year.
I don't know that I'm prioritizing, number one. And number two, I don't know where this let him off the hook thing is last year. I don't think I was.
Well, I just don't remember this a year ago.
I don't mean I probably wasn't raging, but I didn't get it then.
To me, I was more bothered when our best 65 senior level didn't go than a heavyweight. A 65 with no eligibility left either, right? Zane was done. Didn't wrestle then.
Yeah.
A heavyweight junior.
You could also make the excuse then that he just got done with his college career. You take a break and you gear up for the 2019 cycle, which immediately plays into the 2020 trials.
Yeah.
Where, I mean, what's the downside? Let's get to the crux of this. What's the downside of Cassiope wrestling juniors?
What's the downside of Zane wrestling seniors?
Well, the theory or whatever was that they were burnout from the, not burnout, but they went through the rigors. He went through the rigors of the college season, and he was taking a summer off to get ready for the 1920 run. That was their theory. What is the theory for Cassiope?
Well, it's a theory. It's not even a theory. It's something we've seen very consistently. Yeah. It was actually a theme on the entire show the whole year long. What is up with these guys that made world teams being sluggish? We talked about it with Hayden. We saw it with Warner. He was slow to get back. And Iowa's saying 2020 is our year to win an NCAA title, and we're not going to risk anything. We're not going to have a guy being gone all summer long, and then he's going to get back in September or October, and we're going to have to give him 2 months off or ease him back in, and he's going to be on a different periodization from the rest of the team like Warner was last year. They're saying we're not doing that. We're going to keep everyone on the same schedule and go.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying I subscribe to that because you could say, okay, Jacob Warner last year, and I'll keep saying the name Colin Moore. I thought things as one of the biggest changes in his career potentially. That could be not true, but that's what I saw.
So I was one of the first ones to say, look at the guys that are struggling early. Hayden lost a match to somebody he definitely should not have.
Very early.
Zahid obviously didn't look himself earlier on in the season. I was one of the first ones to say that. I get it. I understand that. However, Hayden was fine by the end of the year. Zahid was fine by the end of the year. It doesn't – I mean, if you're telling me that it messes them up for a calendar year, I'm going to disagree with that, number one. Those guys figured it out. Number two, worlds are early. Junior worlds are earlier this year. Number three, in the context that you're putting this in, are you saying that for the benefit of college wrestling –
Oh, of course, yes. Yes.
What? What? No. I don't think you know what I'm going to say here.
Oh, okay.
In the benefit of college wrestling, people that are serious about a NCAA title or NCAA team title should never have their kids participate in the junior world or junior world process? Because that's the context we're dealing with here.
Yeah, I know. And that's what really bums me out about it. I in no way do I think junior world success and NCAA success are mutually exclusive. I think it's paranoia from coaches that they just don't want – they don't want to risk anything, right? They just want to be – they just want to be – what?
Zahid Valencia lost to Mark Hall early, right?
Yeah.
Hayden Hidley lost to Larry early. They were fine by the end of the year. I mean, other than, Hayden was a whisker from beating Nolf. They figured it out by the end of the year. I don't think – I mean, Jacob Warner wasn't himself all year. How do we know Jacob Warner wasn't himself all year? What did he take, fifth?
No, like eighth or something.
Maybe that's what Jacob Warner was. Right? There's no data that Jacob Warner last year in his version is a finalist. I mean, I don't know. The greater backdrop of this is a suggestion that wrestling in the summer at Junior Worlds messes you up and decreases your chances of performing in March, which I don't subscribe to.
I don't subscribe to it either. I don't either. But they're, it's nothing new for different programs to take, be like, okay, no. I mean, there were years where you didn't see like Ramos or McDonough. Iowa has done this before, where guys didn't try to make Junior World teams. Every program has done it.
Gilman did not wrestle freestyle for 3 years, 2014, 2017.
Yeah. So
I don't know. I don't know if I'm picking or choosing. I mean, you can say I'm picking and choosing, and I didn't care about Zane, and which is not wholly true, but I do care. Here's the thing. I viewed Cassiopeia as a clear number one. And when our clear number one, that's, to me, head and shoulders above everybody else, doesn't go, I am not happy about it.
Well, the thing for me the thing for me that I feel like you should just be hammering is why, if he wasn't going to do trials, why did he go to the Open? That's the only thing that confuses me. My understanding was Warner was never going to wrestle this summer, which obviously I want everyone, like I want USA Wrestling to have the best team possible. So of course I want all these guys to wrestle, but like it gets back to everything that we talked about during every part of the college season. Whatever the coaches feel, that's what they're going to do. And the fans are going to follow exactly what the coaches do. There is 100% data to suggest that Junior World success will generally lead to NCAA success. The sometimes issue is when you make a junior team and don't have success, that's where it seems the burnout is.
Yeah, I mean, it's worked out okay for Mackay too. Kind of won the whole thing.
Yeah.
No, to me there's no evidence that making a Junior World team impacts your March performance negatively. I just, I don't know. I don't think it's good, Willie. I'm with you, but I just want it to be known. This happens everywhere with mini teams, and it happened with the best team last year.
Yeah, I mean, people look and see what Penn State does and look and see what Iowa does, and I certainly hope it doesn't become a trend where it's like, if we're really serious about NCAAs this year, we're going to hold our guys out of summer wrestling.
Yeah.
The way USA Wrestling has had success at the junior level, and again, the points about it correlating to NCAA success, I generally don't think we're probably ever going to have a weak team again unless we just have a year of just terrible guys, which I don't think is going to happen. We're going to not have maybe some guys we consider the best in a given year, but I don't think it's going to be an overall issue.
Yeah.
Consecutive years.
It'll be interesting if as more and more kids have because let's be clear, the inner not inner thing with Penn State and with Iowa, this is from the coaches, right? This is not the athletes coordinating and saying, guys, let's not do it. We don't want to make world teams this year. This is coming from the staff, right? And so what's going to be interesting is as years go by and kids are more and more excited about making world teams, maybe even more so than NCAA success, will there come a time when the athletes would kind of force the hands, like, no, I'm not taking the summer off. I want to make world teams. I want to win junior worlds, and how coaches have to handle that dichotomy will be really interesting. And we may not ever even know when it's happening, but I'm sure that there are kids right now that are like, I'm going to try to make a world team every summer, no matter what. So yeah, that's that. Our team's fine. It could be better. That's not being argued. Vito's great.
I think
we got to start talking about some wrestling here.
Yeah.
What, Willie?
I was going to say, I think maybe the biggest takeaway was Brayton Lee's huge, gigantic gas tank.
I mean, it was almost like, hey, let's see how far I can let him and reel him back in, because he did it to Sammy once. He did it to Ja'Cory Teamer. He did it to Peyton Robb. I mean, his tank is just unreal. I mean, Sammy broke in that first match. Like, I've not really seen happen to Sammy too much. There's been times he's gotten tired, but That's all you can
Didn't
say.
It happened to him last year at the trials as well, where he hit a wall. You saw it. Forget who it was against. I'll look it up real quick. You guys talk.
Murin, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yep, great memory there from Kyle. So yeah, Brayton Lee, I'm really, man. I mean, his reattack stuff, how fast he can go from head to the leg is amazing. He's a pretty talented guy. Curious what weight he goes next year and where he stacks up with. I mean, I really think Sasso can win a title next year at 149. I think he's that good, and to see Brayton put 19 points on him in 6 minutes is eye-opening. And
they'll probably be the same weight.
You would think. I thought Sammy looked bigger. I thought he looked like he'd put on some size, like good size. I was excited about that. It was fun watching Brayton go through. I thought that would be. I mean, Sammy teched him in the first period, no problem with that lace in the open, and then just completely different story this time. Was Jamie Hernandez was like one of my biggest revelations of the trials, and I know he got completely housed twice by Gabe Tag, but his path to make it to Tag, I was like, this guy's going to be a thing next year. If he can hold the weight, I think the weight has been an issue with Jamie for a little bit. If he can hold 33, I think he's going to be really tough. I thought he showed a lot of skills in a lot of different positions. So I really liked him.
Yeah, I mean, he was, to be honest, it was like, okay, he got, good win by him. Okay, good win by him. And like, then you're like, all right, maybe it's not good wins. It's like, maybe he's just good.
Well, he was like third at the Open. He had a really good Open, too. It's like one of those results that kind of gets lost in the shuffle because there's 1,000 results, but he did good there.
His path was 12-6 over Decatur, 9-6 over Tal Shahar, and then 10-5 over RBY.
Yeah.
The thing with Hernandez also is guys have arcs, right? Willie talks about this a lot. Like, guys have arcs. And when he was maybe a sophomore, junior in high school, this maybe wouldn't have surprised you. And then he leveled off or had weight issues or I don't know what exactly, but his results were not quite on par with what they were kind of when he was younger in high school during maybe his senior year and his first year in college. And now it's like, okay, I'm back up to where I was originally projected to be.
Yeah, he didn't wrestle for a long time, like after his junior year going into senior year, and then he didn't wrestle a lot in his senior year. And I remember, and then he came back and he had like a weird loss, and I remember struggling with him to put him on the junior big or the
I'm
senior
pretty sure he
board.
fell off the big board completely.
Yeah,
he either did or I had him like 95 just as like a okay, I hope I'm not stupid thing because I didn't know what he was at that point, right? But looking great now.
Yeah, they're doing great things at UNC and Tag. I mean, that was one. So there were two things that happened that surprised me. Like in real time, you can make pretty good prognostications about how the things are going to go. But seeing Jamie look that good on day one and then get smashed by Tag twice, and then to see Zahid Valencia beat Mark Hall and then get smashed by Ringer twice. Not that the wins were surprising. It's just like, wait.
The manner.
You beat Mark Hall 5-0 and you just can't get a whiff of Alex Daringer. And you beat RBY, who was in a war with Tag before he pinned him, and you just got house. So those were two where, like, the trajectory didn't really map in the finals, but I can't give anything but a lot of credit to Gabe Tag. And Julian Tag apparently committed to UNC. I guess it's not terribly surprising considering his brother's going there, but good stuff for the Tar Heels, which I'm currently repping right now.
They got a lot of talent. They got a lot of talent in the lighter weights, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a couple guys at 25, which Julian might be. I think Gabe probably be a 41 eventually.
Yeah.
But Hernandez, I don't know. They got a lot of horses there.
They still have Sherman. They still have someone else good.
Melendez,
yeah. Yeah, they're going to be all right. Okay, junior stuff. Any Steve and Kyle, any junior thoughts to discuss?
No, I think you guys got it all. It was really impressive, Brayton Lee, and then Gabe Tag again.
Yeah, that was something.
You guys, I wasn't there, so you guys on the ground, did you get any interpretation or inclination? Was RBY hurt pretty good, or?
like coming into it. I don't.
No, he got hurt against Hernandez.
Oh
Did
no,
he
I
not?
don't think so. I think he was fine.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, I think he was fine.
Couple Penn State guys got kind of banged up. I don't know.
Well, Nolf, we can skip around here. Nolf's wrestling Valencia. He's finishing a single, and like I didn't even see it. I should have went back and like rewatched it. I was calling the match, and he just came back like really hobbling, and I don't know how much that impacted him down the line, but I can't imagine it helped. It clearly messed him up against Valencia that match, and then he gutted it out against Massa, who I thought Massa was kind of one of the guys under the radar, but looked really good this weekend. Thought he had a really nice showing. He beat Tommy Gant, who we think very highly of Tommy. And then so Nolf beats him to get to Imar. And to me, when I heard Nolf was going up to 74, I got excited because I was like, we will get Nolf Imar again. But I really never entertained the thought that he would be able to beat him. I just thought, I mean, on his best days, he's 1-2 against him, right? Like on his best days. And Imar, I believe, is still improving. And if you're giving up a little bit of weight, which I'm not sure Nolf really was, I thought he looked really big. And I think in a year or so, he's going to be a great size 74. But I just think one thing, if you watch and here's why I thought I don't see Nolf beating him. Because even when they were competing against each other, folk style, basically on their feet the entire time, Nolf cannot get to Imar's legs. Like, it is an absolute rarity for him to get to his single against Imar. He unable to get through the head hands. He struggles in the hand fight, and it's kind of something that's like not really discussed, but he can't get to his legs. And that Nolf has to be able to be a volume shooter. He can't play this like shoot every once in a while, pick my spots game. He's got to be firing. He's not able to do that against Imar yet. Now, will he be able to? There's only a few guys that Nolf needs to focus on beating right now. One of them's Imar, other one's Jordan Burroughs. But right now, that's a big problem that he has not been able to solve in now 5 total matches. I bet he's got to his lock less than 5 times against him.
And then outside of the head pinch, which whether you call it an error on Imar's part or go for broke that he hit or something like that, he hit a Hail Mary to win match 2.
Definitely
Error.
An error on Imar's part.
Yeah.
He stepped in there why were you trying to do that?
Yeah.
With 5 seconds left. Just stay back, stay away from anywhere that he could possibly do something like that to you.
Yeah, Bracky's completely right. That was just a bonus. I mean, he kind of handed him an opportunity. Now, it's still crazy that he was able to how he was able to do it.
Powerful.
That was awesome.
And then you got those Mekhi Lewis leg defense problems coming up soon for Nolf.
Yeah, I didn't even
now,
think
maybe
about
Nolf
that.
just beats him up, but
I don't think so.
Mekhi's not easy to score on.
No way. That's going to be...
Especially after you just watched Imar kind of push him around the mat and just like almost like bully him. Mekhi's a big dude.
Yeah, Mekhi's strong.
Yeah, he's going to have trouble with him.
Bro. Yeah, I think... Yeah, Mekhi's going to definitely be a thing coming into 2020. Excited to watch that. Although I would have liked to see him get a little more freestyle seasoning, but I think he prefers folk style.
Was he still junior eligible, Mekhi?
Good question.
Good question.
I guess it doesn't matter, but he's another one we would have liked to have seen.
Yeah.
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 Gable is still 18 years old.
18?
He's 18. He didn't turn 19 yet. Turns 19 in a couple weeks.
That's correct.
He's 18 years old, people. It's unreal. He's moving around. We'll get to that in a second. But I sort of
We can
derailed
get to
with
it
the
right now.
injury.
It don't matter.
Was there any how bad was Ashnell?
I have no idea. I
mean,
just looked over and he was like slapping the mat. I don't know if it was knee or ankle or...
It was definitely knee.
Yeah, he was in a full, body, not body, but full leg thing. So his knee's pretty ripped up.
Oh. I thought you were talking about the move. I was like, it's called a lace, Nomad, but you meant the medical apparatus.
Yes.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, so I hope he's all right. That was too bad. I would have liked to seen that. Now, it may have been not a thing since he got teched basically immediately. But part of me thinks it could have been something. But either way, James Green back in Final X, Lincoln, exciting stuff there. Okay, let's talk about Gable because
Oh my lord.
He is so daggone good at wrestling. And I mean, I rewatched. Here's why I thought he could beat Kuhn, because the guys that have beaten Adam Kuhn before have been able to get to him and finish quickly and get the foot in the air, right? Tie walls, etc. And I just think he had some bad tactics. One, he had no idea what to do against the over-under body lock of Kuhn at the U.S. Open, and he almost got cautioned out. He got straight backed up twice.
Yeah.
And he had never felt anything like that. I'm sure Gable never wrestled anyone even comparable to Adam in that situation. And then he shot a high crotch from his knees and then got crotch lifted, which is one of Kuhn's best positions. But I just thought, just seeing him finish on guys like Dom and the way he's able to change levels and use his speed, I thought he'd be able to finish on him. Now, the thing I did not expect is for him to be able to hold center as well as he did. And even still, when Kuhn got to that underhook on I think the right side, it was still big-time problems for Gable in terms of, like, how well Adam was moving him around. But, man.
Well, he almost got cautioned out again.
I know.
He got 2 cautions, right?
Yeah, 2 cautions. Which is almost like, holy cow. He was up like 8-1 or something like that. Like he could get cautioned out. It's kind of crazy.
Well, I mean, the crazy thing is that on one hand, he almost got cautioned out because Kuhn's moving him around. But I would say, it sounds contradictory, but I would say that he moved Kuhn around. I couldn't believe how he moved Kuhn.
There were multiple times where he had his butt towards the center and Kuhn was towards the edge. It was all on what hold they were in. If they were in a Kuhn's preferred hold, it would work for him. If Gable was able to avoid it, then it would go his way, which just speaks to his unreal power. Man, he's so daggone good. It's crazy.
Coach saying get to your ties. But yeah, I mean, he wrestled differently. But to that point about getting moved, Gable's step-outs have been, if there's like a nit to pick with Gable, step-outs have been his kryptonite for years. Going back to Cadet Worlds.
His first year at Cadet Worlds, it almost cost him.
Exactly. Going back to, he almost got cautioned out against the Russian at Junior Worlds that one year. Now that, I think, may have been a little, whatever type of refereeing you want to call that. But that has been his thing for years. But holy crap, this was the Gable I thought we were going to get all college season. He has the best footwork of anyone I've ever seen at that age.
Well, I think it's not just that. It's like his hands and feet move in concert, right? It's like the snaps.
Yeah.
And it's all together.
There's no herky jerkiness with him. It's fluid.
Yeah.
It's really impressive.
So, I mean, is he gonna beat Nick Gwiazdowski?
I don't know. It's I hope Mrs. Gwiazdowski is not watching this show, and you even intimating that fact.
I was told not to talk about her again by her, so I'll just have to leave it at that.
The matchup, they're not that different stylistically in body style, right? I mean, Kuhn's a way different build than Gable or.
I was almost disappointed in Ben Askren on Twitter. Because he's like the smartest guy there is. And he forgot more about wrestling than I'll ever know. But him being like just baffled about him beating Kuhn and not understanding like why he struggled with Cassar, it's like, man, could those guys be like 2 more completely different wrestlers? I mean, to me is like very obvious. Like if Gable has a tremendous athletic advantage over you, he can make you look silly. But like Anthony Cassar is super athletic and fast and like. And even still, like, Gable had his chances to win. And I get it is still confusing that he lost to Cassar twice. I'm right there with you on that, Ben. I don't disagree. But at the same time, it's like you're comparing Cassar and Kuhn, who have just completely different styles. I feel like the answer is right there in front of you, which brings me to my next point, athletic Nick Gwiazdowski.
Yeah.
Yeah. But let's go back. One final thing on the Kuhn-Cassar comparison is that, and I put in my quick hit and recap thing, is that I don't know. I think the version of Gable was different. I like there's yes, okay, Cassar's different matchup than Kuhn, but there's also the tactics and like Gable made that a very 1 or 2 takedown exchange match against Kassar both times. And against Kuhn, it was consistent. I mean, go. Maybe you get scored on, but you'll come back and you'll score more points than him. Gable just went out and was aggressive and just kept scoring. And I think that maybe that should have been the game plan against Kassar.
I think freestyle changes everything because I think the step out changes everything for him. I mean, if there's step outs in folk style against Kassar, I mean that's not even a match. Kassar's maybe cautioned out in the first period of their NCAA semi.
Well, and he literally gave up riding time.
Yeah,
like the literal folk styleness of that match, 100% played into it. And maybe Anthony beats him in freestyle, but I don't see it. The folk styleness of that match way helped Anthony. I understand what you're saying about the tactics, but the freestyle Gable wrestles differently, and the rules are different and more suited for him.
Sure, maybe I don't, but you cannot look at the. You can look at the activity level against Kuhn and the activity level against Kassar, and just they're night and day.
I think you're right. There's no question about it. I was watching their Big Ten match, and I was like, what is Gable doing? He's just doing this hand fight thing. Take him down. Like, just shoot. And he wasn't. So I'm with you on that. But I think there's just something about freestyle. It just creates more action. There's just this, like, I don't know, a level of safety and comfort that guys have in hand fighting where with freestyle there's, like, always an element of danger. So you just end up attacking more. I can't exactly explain it. I don't know if it's a complete mentality shift. Because to me, I would have thought there'd be a mentality shift after he lost at Big Tens. And I kind of thought there was in how he approached that NCAA semi against Kassar. And still, but to Nomad's point, it came down to some folk style stuff. But yeah, Gable can't give anything but a whole heck of a lot of credit for how well he did. Okay. I guess that's it for Gable. Any thoughts, Steven?
I think it could just be like the Snyder switch, we'll call it. You know, the NCAA loss, and then it's just like completely different guy. Maybe those 2 losses, help him flip that switch. Like, I need to just let it go, I need to just let it fly, because when I do, I'm the best guy. But I'm really excited to see how he matches up with the quiz.
Yeah. Super intriguing. It's funny because so many matches, especially a lot on the girls' side too. But you have the try. You think after the Open that you have a pretty good idea of the landscape, and then the trials happen. You're like, I don't know. It makes the Final X matches all that much more intriguing. I mean, I'm interested to see Gwiz and Gable. I don't know if I would have been as interested a month ago, and a lot of with the girls things too. But guys, Tyler Graff won a tournament.
Yeah, I mean, he's won tournaments before. I know he's kind of like second or third very frequently, but
has he?
Yeah, he's won like Schultz or Farrell and stuff.
Okay, that's a little different.
He's won several quadrangulars. He's won several dual meet tournaments where it's just one dual meet. No, I know, I get it, guys. He did win a tournament. I think it was a matter of time. If you enter tournaments for enough years and you're as good as Tyler Graff, you have to do something pretty special to not win.
He won the 2016 Canada Cup, 2015 Bill Farrell International, 2-time Dave Schultz champ, Pan American champ. He owns the University Nationals. He was a 3-time champ.
Oh yeah.
He also with Graff.
One time Zane Richards broke him. It was really weird.
That was very weird.
I can't believe he lost to Zane Richards in a 2 out of 3.
It's not just Graff. It's like anyone where you get second or third enough times and you just kind of wonder, can they ever get over the hump? And maybe that's just a stupid
Maybe
mindset
he needed hump to get over the hump.
There you go.
JRTC.
Highlight.
Wow.
Well, he lost to Joey Palmer twice last week.
That's true.
He did get palmered. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to explain it. it happened, and I'm not like shocked about it. I'm like surprised, but like.
Oh, I'm completely shocked because of only because of the Tyler Graff that we've seen for the past 5 years at senior level tournaments just not win. He put up points in bunches. He put up freaking, I don't know,
You're
20.
Right.
How many points did he put up against Nico?
I don't know.
Or who was it?
More than most Redskins
22.
games.
22 against Cody. Scored 22 freaking points. You're like, yeah, Tyler Graff has been able to do this for 5 years. He just hasn't.
That was against Brewer, though.
Like, there was no situation where I was going to pick Tyler Graff to win. Yeah. And it has nothing to do with Tyler Graff's ability. Just I literally haven't seen him win.
Yeah, no, it's not. Yeah, I get it. So now the question is, can he do it against Joe Colon? What's their history? I'm sure they've wrestled each other quite a bit. But yeah, Tyler Graff did win a tournament, and we'll see how it materializes moving forward. We haven't talked about 65 yet.
Well, should we?
I don't know how he went to Graff.
Real quick, Tony Ramos retired.
Tony Ramos did retire. That's why I'm wearing a North Carolina shirt today. Hats off to Tony Ramos, one of our favorites here at Flow. Awesome dude. He's going to be a great coach. Now he's going to focus fully on coaching, and it was cool that he actually did the retirement thing and didn't just like stop entering tournaments, which is like my biggest pet peeve on earth. So good on Tony for doing that. And if you're Tony Ramos level and you're going to retire, you need to go through us, and we'll give you we'll explain to you how to do it. You can't just stop entering tournaments.
Also, okay? I'm glad that, not to pick on Spencer Mango, but like when Spencer did it, his shoes got like stuck for like a minute and a half.
Hey, he was not going to have some situation where the shoe came off. He was not thinking about retirement when he laced those shoes up, which I actually appreciated.
Fair point. But it was just one of those things where it's like
they literally had to get the jaws of life to get Spencer Mango's shoes off. It was like a 4-minute retirement ceremony.
Yeah. So
he was literally on deck as he was retiring. It took so long.
Sorry, I don't mean to pick on Spencer, but good job, Tony, getting your shoes off quickly.
Yes.
Couple Graff wins over Cologne I found. 2017 Schultz, and then at NCAAs. Those are the only 2 matches I could find.
Oh my gosh, the NCAA one was crazy. Cologne was kind of the best guy that year.
Was that when he pinned Tony? The 2014 year?
Is
that the year you're talking about?
That is the year.
Yes.
So that's going to be competitive. I guess briefly, Gilman, we knew there was no one there that could beat him. He won how he wins against Cruz, who's a really tough guy to score on. Gilman just force of will, collar tie moving, underhook moving, a lot of ones, but a lot of ones pile up to a lot of points over time. So Gilman, I didn't understand all of his interview. Normally, I kind of know where he's going. He's talking about saddles. And
if you like saddle talk, that's the interview for you.
Yeah, if you're into saddles, if you're into, he said there's a show pony reference, which I didn't quite understand. But
he doesn't like all the hype, the build up to these matches.
Yeah.
And he was just saying, we're not show ponies. We don't need to do all this stuff.
Sorry,
and
Thomas.
Yet he is very demonstrative in front of the mic and handed back his Final X hat and thing. Like, he is demonstrative.
Yes, but he said many times, don't ask a question if you don't want an honest answer. So Mike Finn asked a question, he gave an honest answer.
How are we still – listen, all right, I want to retire some questions. Stop asking Thomas about competing in Lincoln like he's from Nebraska and stuff, okay? And stop talking about Darian Cruz loss like it's he already teched this or beat him 9-0. We know these guys aren't thinking, I got to get him back for that NCAA semi. Like, it's established.
He got him back 2 months later.
He got him back immediately. And also, he's not from Lincoln, Nebraska, okay? He went to high school in Omaha, and that's it. All right, I'm trying to retire those. If that is once again a story throughout Final X and the World Team Trials, Thomas Gilman coming home, moratorium on that.
He's not coming home.
But they try to play up this thing. Well, you won a state title in Nebraska. How does it? It's not a thing. Ask him about wrestling stuff. It's like they're finding the only questions you can ask where Thomas Gilman can't give an interesting answer. Like, just
if you went back and listened to him and Mike Finn asked the same questions in 2017. Like, it's literally the exact same. The first 2 questions. He asked about Cruz and then Lincoln.
Mike Finn's awesome. He's the man. But I'm retiring those questions. Those have been retired. I don't want to hear about Thomas Gilman doing anything in Nebraska ever again. Okay. So that's Gilman. Zane Rutherford, Jordan Oliver. J.O. makes it through the challenge tournament. Looked pretty good doing so. Was looking good. He was up 6-1 against Zane. And one exchange kind of changed everything. It was this 2-2 head pinch sequence for Zane, where it was very clear that Zane stepped all the way out both feet.
Yep.
And
it was a bad call.
Yeah, so there's a couple things with that. One, he was so obvious he stepped out. What rule did they think that they were following that they allowed the next two to happen? Should it have been 2 Zane and then 1 for JO, or like just an out of bounds like stoppage call there?
Well, there was the previous, like he would have gotten the 2 for the previous.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think he should have said step out.
Yeah. So 2 and 1 instead of 2 and 2 for Zane.
2 and 1 are. I mean, there's a scenario where I guess I could see 2 and 0 grounded because Zane was sort of.
Yes.
I mean, even if they said that, but no way on God's green earth is that 2 and 2. That's a chest wrap. Jordan Oliver pushes forward. Zane goes out of bounds. Almost YOLO chest wrap. Okay, we'll give Zane 2. He was almost on the basketball floor.
So
I don't get it.
What is the actual rule there?
Well,
because there are scenarios where you can step out and still score.
Yeah, it's mainly on
yes,
shots.
But the move the move has to have started. Zane did not attempt any move whatsoever before he was out of bounds.
Well, he had literally just chest wrapped him, so could they not say that he was doing that move?
I mean,
no, they can't. I mean, unless you're blind, he chest wraps. Then Jordan Oliver drives forward. Zane is in a full sprawl. At no point in time is that a continuation. That's a separate move.
Yeah.
Well, also, I saw
clearly a separate move.
Pretty sure it was this weekend and not the Open, but anyway, doesn't matter where it was. It was a girls' match. Was in quad pod and then went back to like pull the leg up, like pull the thigh up to her armpit, and got like backed out. So like she was in on the shot, had her up in the quad pod, had the thigh up here, and got backed out, and she gave up 1 because she stepped out. Now that's a completely different position, but it's the same general idea. Even if you are in an offensive attack, if you go out of bounds, it's that other person's point.
Yeah, listen, there are safeguards in place for bad calls. It's called a challenge brick. And Jordan Oliver asked for a challenge brick, and they wouldn't throw it. So, on the one hand, the worst part of it, I feel for Jordan because he asked for it, wanted it. They didn't throw it for him. For whatever reason, they didn't throw it for him. And that's the real thing. Jordan can't throw it for himself, which I think you should be able to do.
I've seen guys do it before.
Yeah. One time Pat Downey didn't have anyone in his corner. So, yeah, that to me, it's like, listen, freestyle is really tough to officiate. And that's why we had the challenge cube, because we know that the 2 out of 3 are going to make mistakes sometimes. We throw the brick, we'll get it right. If you don't throw the brick, I can't get but so excited, right? It's not like they threw the brick and then they still said, 2 and 2 for Zane. That would have been worse. So,
and there's also, Jordan, you're still up. Like, you still have a lead at the time.
And he would have, and here's the other thing, if they had challenged and lost, he would still be up 6-6 criteria. Because I think it was 6-5. Yes, it was. It was 6-5. They would have challenged. He would have had criteria by having 3 2s when Zane had 2 1s. So,
yep.
There's really the downside was really small to throw the brick there, and they didn't do it, and I was confused, and so Jordan kind of was like, throw the brick, didn't throw it. Then after the match, he immediately goes to his corner. He's like, why didn't you guys throw the brick there?
You know the 2-point conversion chart that they have in the NFL? It's like when you should go for 2, like based on the time and the score.
Yeah.
Brock Height should make one for when you throw the brick in freestyle, like based on potential criteria scenarios.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was a time where you definitely throw it because 1, you're probably right to throw it, and 2, even if you lose, you're still. Oh, the times I don't think you challenge are like when you're literally in the lead and you will challenge yourself out of the lead, right? Like I think it's just.
So it was 6-5 after that, right?
Yes.
6-5, and it says that there was 1:04 on the clock. So, I mean,
you still got to weather it.
That.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. And either way, a takedown beats you, right?
Yeah.
So they should have thrown the brick and they didn't, and that's where my issue is. But to me, a couple things stood out in these matches. One, I thought Jordan really came out with a great game plan. He kind of like seeded a lot of the mat and got Zane real excited. And then, boom, he hit the slide by. Boom, he hit a re-attack. And he did it again in the second match. Like he really played the edge really, really intelligently. But in this, they're just – his hands weren't there on the level I think they need to be there for him to be, one, to make this team, but two, just to have world-level success. Zane got to his legs probably more than Jordan got to his, which if you think who's the better leg attacker, no one's going to say, oh, Zane Rutherford. But
correct.
Based on how many times his hands touched his legs, you kind of had to say Zane Rutherford, right? And Jordan is good when you're on his leg, but he's not super elite there, and Zane's a good finisher. And so I think that was like the real liability for Jordan.
I thought it was a fantastic, dynamic match. That first match where Zane's getting him to the edge and Jordan's Olay and stuff and turning it into his points was sort of fascinating. And I know we'll break this down 100 ways to Sunday, but real quick, Yanni, Zane.
So the way I like to look at these, when you're going to have rematches, so I'm thinking about Gilman Fix, like what's going to determine what are the adjustments each guy can make. And I'm thinking for Thomas, man, the clear adjustment is I'm going to get Dayton to the edge and he's going to try to do this grounding thing. If I can figure out how to score from there, I'll beat him soundly, right? And for Dayton, if he can make an adjustment where he's not getting moved around as much and trust his offense and attacks more, I can see why Dayton will win 2 matches and make the team. Like I can see that. With Yanni and Zane again, I'm not sure what it is exactly. Like can Yanni get to Zane's legs consistently and finish? If he's getting the legs, I think he'll win. Can he count on countering Zane to death again?
That's my thing is I think, and he said it in his interview, I think Yanni needs to focus more on Zane not getting to his legs or not getting in as deep when he does, taking all of Zane's leg attacks and making them 15% less effective, 20% less effective, whatever the case may be.
Let's call it 13.
Sure. But not letting him get to your legs, which is like an oversimplification of things. Like how do you do that? Okay, head, hands, whatever. But that to me is more what it's about because I think Yanni will soar on Zane.
Yeah, can Yanni, if Yanni's fully offensive and able to attack legs consistently against Zane, I think that really favors him, right? Because I just don't see him getting countered.
He shot 47 times against Bajrang.
Yeah.
He never stopped shooting.
It was crazy. It was almost like,
hey, you kind of stop.
Well, I was just thinking, man, Bajrang just left himself super open there. It was like trying to, maybe he was almost like Yanniing where he was like, I need to get counters here. That's how I'm going to beat this kid.
Bajrang's leg defense is not good.
No.
Relative to his world silver medal level.
Right. Yeah, he's going to get in shootouts. So I think Yanni's going to win. I think the arc is with Yanni. But listen, Zane's got Kale and Cody and Casey in his corner. And that is an X factor. And they're going to have
now he only has to focus on one guy, right? So there's going to be adjustments coming. We kind of talked about, James Green looked very good throughout the whole tournament. I don't know if there's a whole lot to talk about a 70.
No.
Isaiah against North, we talked about that. Ringer Zahid.
Whoa. So back up a little bit. Zahid beats Mark 5-0. Not a close match. It was Zahid kind of one step ahead of him. And I knew I was wrong after the semi when Becker almost beat Mark. I was like, I really did it again. I knew I did it again. I even said it on the show. I was like, we're really doing this again, guys. We're picking Mark, and all of us did except for Nomad, I'm pretty sure.
But then I got the final wrong, or the best of 3 wrong.
Yeah. So, and then Ringer. So, I guess I've entered the Nomad zone where I'm going to pick Zahid to beat Mark moving forward here. Now, I don't know how much they're going to. They may never wrestle again. Because I think Zahid's going up to 84.
/86.
84/86. I think Zahid will be at 84 next year.
He'll probably wrestle 85. Greco.
85 Greco. Maybe.
Yeah, I can't wait for you guys to all run that back at some point. You guys know you're going to switch at some point. Well, I don't know.
Nope.
Mark's like, if Mark has a close match against Ben Harvey, Green Ellis, or Nick Becker, or whoever the Patriots start at running back, I think that it's not a big deal. Sometimes I see Kyle Dake beat a guy by 3 points, and it's like, I don't care.
No, but it's, you know what? It's Nomad's point. It's Nomad's point. It's offense.
Yeah.
And right now, Mark can't get to legs and generate offense very well.
He couldn't get his duck under, the duck that he's been doing his whole life, and he couldn't get that, I don't know what you guys call it, the Pete Rose single where he's on his belly, and he's extended like that, and he kicked out of it, ran all the way, 18 feet around. Those were his only 2 things he tried the whole time. And Zahid, the thing that was impressive to me was Zahid, and we forget that Zahid has these because he's so offensive, but Zahid's freaking reattack counter was amazing.
That was like one of the best moves of the whole freaking thing. That from off the duck where it looked like Mark was kind of in.
Yeah.
He just circled left, and blew through him on the double. And that was, I think I even said this on the call, like, the whole thing with Zahid in high school was how amazing his defense was. Like, that was like the story about Zahid Valencia. Yeah. And then he gets to college and he shoots so much, you're like, you don't even remember this guy's defense is insane.
Yeah.
And you kind of get reminded every now and again when he's in these wars like he was against Mark. So he wins against Mark, and then I just did not see the dismantling coming. And and certainly Daringer has been a dominator, but we watched that U.S. Open, and you're like, okay, well, yes, Chance Marsteller and these guys, but once it's Zahid Valencia, it's not going to be like that. And it was like that.
So it was like he entered another dimension. There's
a power dimension that
there's something was going on. Like, he was doing stuff that was just right. Am I right?
Oh yes. It's stuff we'd seen him do, it's seen him do against good guys, but against Zahid Valencia. And I think we all knew to kind of throw out Rochester, right? I think we knew that wasn't going to happen again. No one really expected that. I know Nomad predicted him to win, but I don't think you thought it would look like Rochester.
My preview, I had Zahid over Ringer in 3 matches.
Yeah.
Which I still stand by, but man.
I wouldn't stand by it.
I stand, like, at the time going in, like, it made sense in my head.
Got it.
So that's what I mean by that. Like, I still stand by that. However,
don't stand by it. Right
holy
now.
Freaking crap. Here, you want some numbers on Ringer's domination?
Drop them.
Last 2 years, 79 kilos. 30-4.
Can you name the 4 losses real quick? 2 to Zahid.
2 to Zahid.
1 to Dake.
1 to Dake and 1 to Gadji, who has a win over Dake and is a world bronze medalist.
Yes.
His only international loss. 30-4 with 279 points for and 40 against.
Okay. That is
so
which includes and these aren't our sister Mary.
279
for 40 against.
Wow.
Yeah, these aren't
had a
rinky-dink.
criteria match with Dake.
These are Koloff title. These are Ukrainian title. These are bronze at Urigan. He's lighting people up at these tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
That's like 12. That's like 12 points a match he's averaging across all his bouts. That's a lot. Yeah, I'm telling you. And the thing that Nomad keeps bringing up, Dake has not wrestled. Man, can you just show up and beat Alex Daringer after not wrestling? I know he's wrestling hard in the corner. He's probably wrestling with Gabe Dean and all the hammers they have there. But can you just show up? And it's Kyle Dake. He's a world champion. He's one of the best we've ever seen. But it's as well as Ringer is rolling right now. It's It's going to be tough. And I still probably, gun to my head, am going to pick Kyle Dake because Kyle Dake is Kyle Dake. But, man, on paper, it's a scary proposition.
How often do guys, and I think Willie mentioned this for NCAAs when we still weren't sure when Seth Gross was coming back, how often can guys just show up and win at this level? Like what is the actual number of times we've seen it?
And one thing I was thinking about yesterday was so Dake is not a stranger to long layoffs because he's had injury problems before.
Yep.
What has it looked like when he's been gone, like in 2014 when he missed time? Mm-hmm. When was his first thing back? How did he do when he first came back, right? How has he responded after the long layoff or two that he's had in his career? That's what I'm curious about because he's going to get dropped into the fight. There's not going to be some acclimation tournament where he gets his feel. He's going to be practicing, and then he's going to be wrestling Alex Derringer. Now, there's rumors swirling about a delayed wrestle-off there. I don't know anything about that other than I'm hearing it's going to happen. But we don't know for sure when or where it's going to happen. I'm hoping everything happens at the rack. I mean, Downey is – and we'll get to Downey, I'm sure. But Downey's been – I think Downey knows he's not going to get to wrestle him at Rutgers. I think he knows that David's not wrestling him there. But I know he really wants to. So it's – I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know if you have any other Derringer Zahid thoughts, Willie.
Derringer's Zahid, no, but Derringer Dake. I mean, I think everybody's going to pick Dake because Kyle Dake is Kyle Dake and guy's a winner.
I definitely would not.
Under the circumstances, under the long layoff, under the auspices of potential injury, and coming off a very narrow win, right? I mean, when Kyle Dake was all systems go, he almost beat him. What are you doing?
I'm just Googling auspices.
He's looking.
Did I use that right?
A divine or prophetic token.
I don't know that you didn't use it right. You didn't say it right.
How would you say it?
Well, maybe I didn't use it and say it right. All right,
Listen to this
coming
nerd
off.
correcting somebody on how to pronounce a word again.
Oh my gosh, Anubis. Here we go. It's Anubis.
Anyway, when Kyle Dake was all systems go, Ringer almost beat him. So
you
there's
can make an
definitely
argument
a shot.
he should have won the match.
Auspices.
Yeah.
Yes, that is correct. Not
Got it.
Species. But
So
you
I
could make an
pronounced it
argument
right.
that Ringer should have won that match last year.
Right?
Yeah.
Like he kind of got hosed on that call.
Mm-hmm.
That happened.
So there's a chance, right? It's a thing.
Okay. It's definitely a thing. 86. Pat Downey.
Why are you guys?
Someone get Pat Downey's phone. This
Why are you
man.
guys laughing?
This man. Why am I laughing? Because Pat Downey is. He's calling everyone everything but a child of God on Twitter.
He's calling everybody.
I just
except
happened
Matt
to be
Bruce.
looking. I'm on Instagram looking at. There's some post about Ringer and Dake. He's like, at ringing is going to tech at Dake. He's adding. Pat, you might be on the team, and so might Kyle Dake. Do you have to say that maybe someone's going to – you can think it. Do you have to publicly say, I think Kyle Dake's going to get teched?
Pat won the Open and then won the trials and was like, I'm saying whatever I want now. I'm just saying.
Carte blanche.
He was so close to like there was an arc of redemption, of like anti-hero, of like okay, people are starting to come around, and then it's like,
you know what? That Pat's a good kid.
Drop a match on it.
But you know what? Pat Downey he really is a good, he's good. He's coming around. He's changing his ways. Now the fans are like, no, Pat is Pat Downey. That is who he is.
Listen, he is Pat. He is definitely Pat Downey. Man, he said, I'm not even going to read that one about the training. I'm not even going to read it. I don't think it's not fair to David.
It's not fair to David at all.
Yeah. But he's.
Is there a level of Ben Askren-esque there? Like
no.
Where you
he
going
doesn't.
with this?
No, this
Is he
is
just
like
trying to
4
get it
steps
fired
further
up?
than Askren.
Askren would never say, do you want to take it to the parking lot? I don't think he would ever accuse someone of PEDs. I don't think he would challenge.
He would.
Well,
yeah, Askren might.
Well, he would. He would.
Ben has.
Well, yeah, no, he has, but I don't think he would. I don't know. I don't think he would just do that to David just because he trains at a place where T.J. Dillashaw did. I don't know. Oh yeah, he tweeted Pat Downey. Word on street: Dake and Magic Man seeking special wrestle-offs. They don't want to deal with the best hair in USA Wrestling. At ringing goons.
His braids were tighter than like any girls there. Like they were pretty impressive.
So Daniel Cormier's coming at him. I think that they've long not liked each other. Mm-hmm. Cormier and Downey. On Instagram, Cormier said he's going to get teched, LMAO. And then, I don't know, Downey probably said something, and DC goes, don't worry about me. You got big problems to deal with. Don't get embarrassed by DT. So, yeah. It's what a life Pat Downey has lived at this point. It's still so much life to give. It's really something.
It is really going to stink if that match doesn't happen at the rack.
Oh, yes. Big time.
Can we talk about why everyone is just blaming Downey for the stuff with Heflin?
I didn't really understand that.
Clearly, Heflin was swinging like very hard too.
Yeah, it was.
And like that wasn't just one person. Like that was both people. It's just Downey, man. So they're just like, oh, it was Downey's fault. It's the same thing if Austin DeSanto was in a match like that, they'd be like, well, classic DeSanto. It's like, no, it takes two to reach the level that it was at.
Yeah, that's what annoyed me. There was one part where the official just kept talking to Pat like it was like.
You said it on the call. You're like, he doesn't need a lecturing.
Yeah, it was weird. I'm like, wait, hold on. Why is Pat getting this like guidance counseling right now? It's like Heflin, they're like punching each other. It's like very even.
The one time Downey takes down Heflin, and Heflin's like throwing elbows from bottom, but it was Pat's fault. Yeah. Pat didn't even do anything.
Pat does plenty. You don't have to look for something with Pat. You know, it doesn't have to be fabricated. He's gonna step it outside. But yeah, I thought that was very even how they were wrestling each other and the physicality. And I didn't like how it ended. I didn't like that. It was a scrappy 2-match series. Thought it could have ended a little more subtly, but Pat rubbed it in a little bit there, and Heflin didn't want to shake his hand.
Right. So somebody was saying Heflin's right hand is hurt, and when Downey went to shake it, he like squeezed it like to hurt him.
Okay.
I don't.
Well, they didn't even shake hands.
Yeah, they didn't shake hands.
Heflin wouldn't even put it out.
Heflin called him a punk and told him there was no. You could literally read his lips. He's saying no respect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, not the best look for Pat at the end there, but nothing so horrible. So yeah, that's 86 Downey DT. That's spicy. It is spicy. You know what? The Taylor rumors are so the breadth. How many different things I've heard from the degrees of the injury, from the worst of the worst knee thing to it's fine. They'll probably wrestle it at the rack. Like, meaning I know nothing, except I'm pretty sure it's gonna be moved back, but you can't get any real information about this, so I don't know.
Well, the real troopers are good to see it. The ones that are in Fargo, like myself, Daniel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be it. That'll be too bad.
Well, what stinks though, like, I think it stinks that it's not at the rack, or there's potential to not be at the rack. But things like that happen, but to me, what really stinks is if Dake does it too. Now you have 2 on 1 card that are not going to be there.
Yeah, that will really, really stink for sure.
I don't know. David tweeted, "Final X and Rutgers at No Bickle, smooth as silk."
Yeah, at No Bickle.
Yeah, but maybe he's like, yeah, Final X Rutgers, stand up, represent. That's us.
Kyle Dake's coming to Vegas, baby.
Wait, what?
Remember when Kyle Dake was like, I'm coming to Vegas, and you were like, oh, that means he's wrestling. I'm like, I think he's just going.
Yeah, he's just going. He's just messing with me. All right.
You made Nomad write an article about it.
No, I never actually.
He didn't write it.
I didn't ever actually.
Oh,
write
I
it,
thought
like,
you.
This is not evidence enough for me.
Yeah, he needed more. Okay.
I don't think I saw. You guys, I don't even know if I saw Kyle at the Open. I didn't even get to talk to him.
He assuredly
but
was
somebody
there.
said, yeah, I know. But one of you guys, did somebody say he looked kind of smallish?
Well, I was just thinking about Ringer and the behemoth that he is, and then I saw Kyle, and he looked like how he looks, and I was just thinking, whoa, those two are gonna wrestle in the same weight class, and Ringer may just have like next level power. I don't know. It's notable. I thought he looked.
Did Nomad stand next to him?
I don't think at any point.
No, but Ringer's a gorilla.
He is so big and strong. And apparently he's going up to 86.
He said that in his interview.
Yeah.
Afterwards, he said, "I ain't cutting down. I get him big."
It just makes sense. He's a power wrestler. Like everything he does, the dumps, the shots, like everything that he does is just so power dependent.
And
like, why would you cut that out of your game? Why didn't cut down?
And like, even when he was college eligible, like the weight he got up to was sort of like legendary.
Oh,
like,
really? He looked big.
Like when he was wrestling 65, like before his junior or senior year, the word out of there was like, yeah, Ringer's walking around at like 202.
Like Buffalo status?
I remember Crutchmer told me and Beta that one time we were up there for a duel. He said him and Ringer get up to like 200 in the off season.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You tell me they cut weight at Oklahoma State?
Evidently. There's mounting evidence. Okay, so that was that. 92, Bo Nickel was super dominant. We expected that. Him versus Jaden is going to be really something.
He wasn't super dominant in the second match.
Well, I thought there was somewhat of a turning point. He came out a little less assertive, but when he got in on that shot and Machiavello kicked out,
right.
I think it jimmied up his shoulder. He's like, okay, let's just get across the finish line here and worry about it later. But, I mean, I think you saw...
That's the second time, though, because, pins Colin Moore in 14 seconds or whatever it was in the duel, and then beat him. Like, he was never a doubt, but it was close at NCAA's. And then here again, beats him in, a minute 8, and then 5-0. Like, again, decisively in terms of watching the match, but not on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
And I'm just, Jaden's I'm going to pick Jaden or Bo Nickel. I'm going to say it now. I'm going to say it when we do our picks whenever over the next 3 weeks. I don't know.
Yeah.
Jaden's incredible.
Well, it makes for an incredible matchup. I mean,
yeah.
Probably the juiciest
I don't know.
one,
You sort of Kive and Kyle, you sort of know what you're getting. Jaden and Bo, I mean, Jaden's a world champion. You kind of lean, but you don't know what you're getting. You don't know how it will look, kind of. At least you get to see a fresh kind of matchup. Gable, we talked about Gable and Kuhn. What I wasn't there. How was the trials in Raleigh? How was the venue? How was the town?
Great. Raleigh's awesome. NC State's awesome. Good venue.
Talk about going back there at some point. Is that what I heard?
Well, I don't know, but I hope so.
I have several points about this. Number one, the arena is beautiful. Reynolds Coliseum, awesome. 2, beautiful. It is. It's much better than last year.
Oh,
it's much better than last year.
Breathtaking.
Oh, I'm sorry that you want it in a high school gym?
It was.
Or you want it in a real gym, or you want it in a high school gym? Because that's what we got last year.
It was lovely.
So
let's continue to put these things in real arenas. Let's continue to put it in cities that want the event. Raleigh gave the event a pile of money to host it there. Let's have the city chase the event, not vice versa. Let's have it in areas where we can. What?
Are you saying Raleigh is a singlet chaser?
I'm saying that, like, when you have these events, sometimes you gotta find cities where, as opposed to Raleigh giving the event a whole ton of money to have it there. That's a good thing.
Keep working them, Christian. Let's get them rolling.
I don't understand. I mean, all right, you guys can clown on me, but these are all good things for our sport.
It's the postmodern architecture of Reynolds Coliseum was truly.
Did you not think that Reynolds was so much better than?
It looked much nicer than Rochester.
Yes,
I will say that.
Of course.
Why would you not want it in a nicer gym?
You know what?
You nards.
I loved it. I loved it there. All it was missing was Wild Bill's. Remember that place?
Oh my God,
Yeah.
Wild Bill's.
That's the only thing it's missing.
Did you guys find any place like that?
No, we went to a couple places. One, we got like basically strip search to go to this brewery.
It seems safe.
Oh yeah,
It was insane.
There was a weirwood tree inside. That was a whole
A what?
Uh,
A what tree? The tree
weirwood
that talks?
The tree from Game of Thrones. Like it had a face,
yeah.
and it was inside the bar.
There's Bran there.
Yeah. All right, moving on.
He was wheeling around.
We talked about trials. We have friends. They have questions. Let's get to them. Folk style head pinch. If you're attending Final X Rutgers resulted in your spouse registering a level 8 anger, classic 1 to 10 scale, for an unknown duration, would you still attend? This is a great question. It's a tough question. It's why I'm starting with it. I want to devote maximum brain power to it. So registering a level 8 in anger on its own, you can withstand that storm. The unknown duration is what gives me pause. So you're going to have to feel that out. If you feel like this is a week or two, and you can weather that, but if this is something that sets you back 6 months, folk style head pinch, it may be a mistake.
I want to know why. I want to know why it's going to result in any sort of level 8 anger.
You know, maybe we don't know the situation with folk style. Maybe folk style head pinch has some young kids at home that he would be leaving, and the wife has to tend to that, and she's got a full-time job and the whole thing.
Maybe folk style head pinch's wife is a nurse, and that is her turn to work. The how they do 4 days on for 3 days off or whatever, and that's her turn to work. And then they got to pay a babysitter, so now they're digging into the juniors college fund.
Now they're losing money.
Yeah. Maybe she's a prison guard and she's got to work a double at the prison.
Why? Why is this?
I don't know. Throwing out shift work
Maybe she
theories.
works. Why?
Maybe this is
4
folk style
days-
head pinch and his wife's anniversary or
going
something, and
4
he doesn't want to spend the day with her. He wants to go watch wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You talk about level 8 anger. Nomad goes, maybe it's a 4-day, 12-hour workday. Probably that. I have level 8 anger with your handle. Folk style head pinch, it doesn't even make sense. Next question.
That's why it's great.
That's why it's great. It's the irony. Okay, next question. Yes, Zane Rutherford, Tony Rotundo points out that Zane Rutherford did the under the little chin thing. He did it to Jordan Oliver. I don't understand it, but
Someone needs to do it to him.
Yeah,
See how he likes it.
He likes it. Give him a little tickle. Shut up, dude. Michael Malay, the NJRTC is starting to become more elite, along with the kids wrestling for Rutgers. Was this something already in progress or a direct result of Highlight Hump, Reese Humphrey being in charge of the program? I don't know. I would give a lot of credit to the powers that be that just, first of all, they said, hey, we're going to be dedicated to freestyle wrestling here. And I think a big part of it is these guys are actually, they have the structure, right? They have practice. Whereas there's a lot of places in a lot of these schools, it would surprise you. You're training full-time freestyle, but you're on the college schedule and you get your training and you get the things that you get when you get them, right? And the full attention is on the NCAA athletes. And so it's on you to kind of own your schedule and when you train and when you get and who puts you through stuff. Whereas Reese, I believe, is really, truly running a practice and has these guys on a schedule. That's my theory.
Well, some of these places don't even have RTC coaches, separate from their college program.
For sure. So I think that's part of it. But yeah, a lot of credit to the NJRTC. Matt, if Taylor can't go, should we hold a delayed special wrestle-off between 79 Loser and Downey? We want the best team, right? Oh, that reminds me. I'm glad I put this in here. So I won't say who or anything, but just how as soon as we saw Taylor got hurt, we said, would anyone come down from 92? Would anyone come up from 79 to go into it? That'll really tell the test. A coach reached out and said, hey, should we go to 86? You want the best team, blah, blah, blah. Maybe we should consider this. And basically they were like, no, you should stay at the weight you're at, basically. Meaning we think Taylor's going to be back. So take that for what it's worth. I don't know what it means, but I just wanted to say that and have that out there. But no, the loser of 79 should not get a special wrestle off if Taylor can't go. If you wanted to go 86, you could have entered 86 at World Team Trials or the U.S. Open and done it that way. But you wanted to go 79 or 92, so that's the weight you're at, and you have to live with your choices now for the rest of your life.
I mean, that was a situation when they were, discussing the Final X process this year. I mean, one thing that was on the table was a format where you could move weights after losing, but they ultimately didn't go that route.
Right. All right, I'm going to text Cyon, let him know we're wrapping up here. So, next question. We talked about Bo rolling his shoulder. Did Nolf get big brothered by Imar, or is Imar really that much better than Nolf? I think he's, I think he's a little bit better. And sometimes if you're a little bit better, just a little bit makes it so you look like you're way better. I think that's what we had a little bit there.
Everything's, I don't want to say against Nolf, but Imar had a longer runway in a lot of respects. Or Imar had a head start in a lot of respects. Focusing on freestyle for a full calendar year, being a full size 74. So,
I also just think Imar's locked in right now.
Yeah.
Like in a way that maybe he hasn't been before.
All right, here's a good one from Liam Volk-Kloss. Do you think PD3 could get under David's skin like he does with a lot of other people? Also, delayed wrestle-off. Well, I don't know that PD3 necessarily gets under his competitor's skin necessarily. I think he just beats them, the ones he beats. But the answer is no. He's not going to get on. I don't think he's going to get under David Taylor's skin.
He put hashtag ManDog season.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to say that.
Yeah, what does that mean?
I think he meant to put
Dog Man.
Well,
now I get it. I thought he meant Mad Dog or something. Like, are we calling Downey Mad Dog now? I don't understand. But yeah, now I get it.
David has had instances in matches where he has been flustered.
Yeah, there has to be some. How do I say this? He's so much better than Pat. Like, he's just.
Right, they've happened against, like, Jordan.
Like, you get, Jordan Burroughs.
Sure.
Kyle Dake, maybe you get flapped a little. Yeah, but I just don't see it against him. I mean, he was calling Bo Nickel Gumby and all this stuff after he won NCAAs, and he got teched by him. So, I don't know. I don't see it. PD3 is... I mean, he's certainly wrestling better than he ever has, right? He's, like, wrestling awesome. What, Willie?
He's wrestling better than he ever has. He's also talking about as bad as he ever has.
He's not Iowa State bad yet. He's towing the line though, like only PD3 can.
Prepared to be debunked.
Prepare to be debunked. Yeah, that was
that made me laugh.
I laughed out loud when I saw that.
He thought about it too. How did he come up with that?
I think that was dramatic pause. I think he's had it.
Yeah.
You think so? You think he was sitting on it?
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty interesting.
Funky Bunky.
Yeah, I had to explain that was like his nickname at trials. The Funky.
Oh yeah, yeah. You did.
Fellas, no question this week from Big Italian Classic. I just want to say I appreciate that most episodes now are at least 90 minutes long. I like to call them FRL long cuts. Keep up the good work.
Big Italian Classic.
Classic Chill. I like this guy. He sounds like someone you could hang out with, eat a nice sandwich, watch a sports game.
He sounds like he goes to Wawa frequently.
So he's probably jacked about
I was thinking,
Trent making the team.
Oh yeah, loving the hoagie.
But I did like that note because I like the long episodes, especially in the summertime. In the course of the regular season, got so much to do. It's like as soon as the show ends, we have like a million things to do. But I don't know how you guys feel, but I like the long episodes.
Oh, I do too. I mean, we never will gratuitously stretch them out. We will stop the show. Like Willie and I stopped at like 50 minutes the one show, and sometimes we'll go an hour and a half. We will go as the juice flows. So if it flows for 90 minutes, then there you go. I just like that they're long cuts because Willie's not dipping anymore, but he still can get the long cut 20 twice a week at least for an hour and a half. So that's good. All right. Now, if you are a wrestling fan and not a Game of Thrones fan, this is probably the time where you should leave. You should stop listening. If you haven't finished Game of Thrones and you don't want it to be spoiled, you should also leave. So
No, you know what? It's not. There's nothing to spoil. It sucked.
This is me actively trying to drive viewership away. It's a first. Is Becky singing the intro song? Now
That was the best part of the show. How about that?
he is all out. No one is pleased about the way this came to end. Cyon is supposed to be coming. He has been texted. I texted him. Let me see.
Oh,
he always
great.
complains about not coming on.
Yeah, right. Next time he'll feel offended that we didn't get him on the show.
Oh, all the time.
We even text him.
He is.
As soon as he comes in, we should insult his work ethic because he's not working.
Yeah.
Right.
We're working. He's not.
Yeah, literally.
When he walks in here.
Oh, first thing I'm gonna do. He is the biggest one. He's an honest guy, but he tells all these lies about like why he's not on the show or what other people. But then he also like. Basically, his thing is he insults everyone's work ethic at all times. You'll be sitting there writing, doing work. He'll be like, "What? When y'all gonna get to work around here?" I'm like, "See, you're watching me work right now."
As he's up away from his desk.
Yeah, where are you going? He's walking laps all the time, chatting it up. So we'll see if he even comes back here. I don't even know. But the reason we're doing this, I don't know why. Nomad has some sheet up. I don't know if he has some.
No, I just went while we were waiting for Cyon. I was just gonna mention some of the other Final X matchups.
No, he's not here.
We're not gonna do that. We're gonna talk about we've already gotten rid of the wrestlers, so we're gonna talk about Game of Thrones finale. It's over. It happened. I watched in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I gotta say I was not happy with how it ended. I was mad at many people. I can't stand Jon Snow. They took a strong man with great moral, and I couldn't stand what he became the last episode. I know Bracky was mad.
They made him Kevin Durant. They made him a Triple B.
Whoa, wow.
They made him a cupcake.
Wait, can we hold on? Let's.
I mean, they did. And I don't understand it. And I'm pissed.
Now we have to explain what Triple B is. Do people know what Triple B
You can figure out what Triple B means.
No, we ain't gonna do
Baby
that.
back, ribs.
Baby back. Well, let's differentiate. I'm tired of the heat that Jon Snow's taking here. We need to differentiate and say that the writers made him. Jon Snow in and of himself is not a baby back. They made him. Listen, if you want an example of how the world, I mean, that's just saying the world is an unfair place. This dude was on the front lines of everything. He was the catalyst for everything. And at the end of the show, they're like, we all got all the stations in life that we won. John, take one for the team and go to the wall and never procreate and never see the sunshine. That's your reward.
Yeah, not good.
I mean, why was he just not like, you know what? F all y'all. I'm the true heir to the throne. I'm taking this dragon. And you know what? We're just going to rule this thing.
Yeah. This guy.
And he just push over Bran in his stupid little wheelchair.
Why is Bran has no leadership skills at all? First of all, how does he end up with the throne? One. How are they like, why was he such a unanimous choice? It was such a cheap way out. It's like, oh, it'll be so ironic because the person who will hold the final seat of power will be someone who is paralyzed and is weak and whatever. But they just made that the end, but they didn't do anything to make that make any sense whatsoever. They just want to have a cute ending.
And I'll tell you what too. They spent the entire 8 seasons and the Starks are so virtuous. I'll tell you what, F the Starks, because everyone took a crap on Jon Snow. I mean, all of a sudden, they're this virtuous people. They're all getting what they want in life, but Jon Snow got to go to the thing?
Yeah, hold on. Sorry, we're rearranging because Cyon's here. Now, I just realized I don't know how Cyon's going to be able to hear anything or hear Willie. That may be tough.
Cyon, are you on a call right now?
Is there not a thing over there?
Why you got headphones on?
Yeah, where's Cyon?
Is there not a hookup over there, Christian?
Still working, man. I'm in a meeting.
Oh, here we
Oh,
go.
here it is.
I told you.
Here it is.
You weren't in no meeting.
You're not in a meeting. You should be paying attention to the meeting. Are you in the meeting or are you on the show? I'm going to kick you off the show 4 seconds in if you're going to be on a call with Craig Picorni the whole time.
Hey, we got extra stuff here.
All right,
I can multitask, man. Can you?
I didn't while you guys are getting set up, I didn't like how the whole final season or the final episode was going to be about who is going to kill Downey and what's going to happen after she dies. And then John kills her in this dramatic fashion.
Yeah.
And then the dragon just all of a sudden comes down and just destroys the Iron Throne. Like, he understands what's going on. And then it just cuts to like 5 months later. And it turns out he was just taken prisoner. Like, Grey Worm and like the Dothraki and everyone would have tried to kill him instead of just putting him in jail once they found out he killed Downey.
And why did Grey Worm get a say? F off, Grey Worm.
Yeah, what's
Your
he got
name's
to do
Grey
with
Worm,
anything?
first of all. I know.
Grey
You're
Worm.
Unsullied. They're not even supposed.
He's
The
just a soldier,
Unsullied
man.
aren't
He
even
follows
supposed to have an
orders.
opinion.
His leader's dead.
Just
He
follow
has no
orders.
He's a lost soul.
I know, he know what to do. So I didn't like that. The Drogon melting the Iron Throne was so cheesy.
So corny.
Like, oh wow, how symbolic. No, it's so stupid. Just like the thing with Mother Dragons when she's walking out and the dragon's behind her, a silhouette. Everyone's like freaking out about that. I'm like, this is lame. This is cheesy.
Yeah.
How did the dragon become sentient? Like, after 8 seasons of not being sentient.
What do you mean?
All of a sudden it has feelings? All of a sudden
And it has,
it nuzzles
right?
her
And it has,
picks her up?
No, technically, when the first dragon died, they all screamed out in pain when they noticed he died. So it actually did have feelings.
Okay, but maybe about other dragons, but not about no.
Well, that's always had
Yeah,
some-
how did
That was a complete
for
overreach
sure.
on their part.
Well,
of
remember
It was
when
a-
she was
it was
in,
too far of a
when
reach.
she was in the arena and they got in the fight, the dragon showed up to save her out of nowhere.
Yes.
So once again, they had feelings for Downey. So it's almost attracted to her when she's
I don't know so much about
in danger.
feelings as much as she is in control of them.
Well, she's dead, and they sensed that she was dead.
Cyon, who would you have put in charge of the whole realm after Dany stabbed? If you had to choose one of them.
Well, Jon Snow did prove himself. He did what nobody else had to do. He made the hard choice. He killed his aunt lover. So,
Would you? Now, here's the real question. Cyon, if you were in love with your aunt, grandma, whoever it is, sister, but she just incinerated an entire city, would you have the heart to stab her?
well, first of all, I would never be in love with my aunt, blah, 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 sister, cousin.
Don't rule it out, man. You never
don't
know.
that.
You might not
What if
know
you-
she's your aunt.
Well, as
Yeah,
soon
what
as
if
he
you
found
banged her
out
without
it
knowing?
was his aunt, he should not have been kissing her. But would I put a knife in somebody's evil heart? That'd be hard to do, Sometimes I have 5 sisters, and sometimes I
boy.
think they're all evil.
But
Would
you
I
wouldn't.
put a knife in either one of them's heart? Probably not.
There's evil, and then there's incinerating 10,000 people. Have your sisters, have they flirted with that? Probably not.
I'm sure they
Well,
would.
listen,
I'm pretty
I'm
sure
gonna
if
tell
they
you
had
right
that
now.
opportunity, they probably would. But,
gonna-
thank God they don't
tell
have
you
a
right
drag.
now,
They probably
Cyon-
would incinerate me at some point in life.
Cyon
But,
has sisters.
Hold on, Willie's
that live
talking.
in-
Y'all can't
Okay.
hear each other, so you gotta take turns. What,
See-
Willie?
You have to interpret this for Cyon because he can't hear me. But Cyon has expressed to me great disdain for his sister not paying rent on time.
He's talking
And
about your
so
sister
if
not
that can
paying
get-
rent right now.
Family members are family members.
All right, can we talk about how Jon Snow, like, throughout the entire show had this, like, amazing moral compass and, like, always knew right from wrong. And then he just watches Dany kill the entire city. He's like, well, I don't know what to do, man. It's my queen. What am I mean, I know he ultimately stabbed her, but even the fact that he seemed like he was wavering somewhat there just made me so mad.
How about another moral compass issue?
Well, it's still his family member and somebody he loves, so his moral
come
compass
on.
is still going to be there.
This entire show is about family killing each other.
How about
Go
okay,
ahead.
Bran Stark knows everything.
Mm-hmm.
He knew that Dany was going to burn down an entire city and just let it happen. Didn't say a peep.
Well, no,
and then wheeled down there and then wheeled down to King's Landing and you made this point earlier. Tyrion's like, Ed, you want to be king of the North? Or whoever asked him, he's like, nah, I don't want any more. And you're like, all right, you Buddhist monk. And then
Yeah.
it's like, hey, you want to be king? He's like, yeah, damn right, you know I want to be king.
You know
Let's
what?
go.
That's what it's all been about.
But I think
Get
you're
the freak
wrong.
outta
He
here.
doesn't. He knows everything about the past, not the future.
No, he knows about the future
No,
too.
he only knows about the past.
He's
The
literally
great-
the worst king that they could have possibly picked.
No,
Like
it's the past. He only knows the past. He cannot see the future.
That's what I thought too.
He only
But
can
then when
see
he
the
says,
past.
There's a vision in season 2 of the dragon. Like literally, they used the exact scene of the dragon flying over King's Landing. He sure as hell can see the future. Cyon.
Well, he sees it's a premonition, but he only sees the past. He cannot tell what's happening.
Yeah, a premonition, but he doesn't know everything. He's not omnipotent, right?
When did he stop being the three-eyed raven?
He's still the three-eyed raven. That's why
that's not fair. Pick one. You're either king or you're the three-eyed raven.
He's the three-eyed raven king.
Tyrion
said he's the best choice because he holds all the memories of the past, so he makes the best king so that they don't repeat the mistakes.
He's a trash.
That's literally
king.
why he's the worst, because now he can become the worst tyrant of them all because he knows how to play the game better than anyone because he knows everything.
I didn't like this sentence.
But
really?
When they said, "How about it, Brandon? You good? You want to be king?" And he said, "That's why I came all this way, or I came all this way. I didn't come all this way for nothing."
Yeah.
That dude wanted to be king from Jump Street.
He wanted to be king from the jump after he got shoved out. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna be the king. Like what?
He wanted to be the king.
What gave any indication he wanted to be king?
Look,
Bran has no leadership skills whatsoever. He's vague. He hardly doesn't talk. He drives me crazy.
That's where you're wrong again. He has the knowledge. He has the knowledge of every king.
Okay, how about just like as a show?
He's like the new King Solomon.
Hold on, as a show, there was a whole season without him.
Yeah, the whole season, and there's like And how is he this unanimous choice just because he knows the past? I don't understand that at all.
Because he's the one that's the less selfish out of the whole group. He has nothing to gain.
Why are you this Bran
Sounds like he's Team Bran.
Yeah, you're Team Bran.
Bran Muffin?
Hey,
Bran the Broken.
If I had to choose somebody on that
hilarious.
panel, who would you have put in charge there?
Tyrion. I'd choose Tyrion. Jon Snow.
It's Jon Snow.
Well, Jon Snow was not an option because nobody that would have started a war, which is what they were trying to.
Jon Snow wasn't an option.
I can't hear Willie anymore. I don't know what happened.
But who else would you have chosen?
Jon Snow should just kill it. Like, they don't want me to be king. I'm just going to fight you.
Jon Snow would have started a war. They just, like, okay.
They just ended a war. They didn't want to start another one.
That's another thing. How do you go and you spend an episode and a half showing, like, the chaos that war causes on humans and innocent people, and then nothing about the rebuild? Nothing. It just cuts to 5 months later. Everybody's like, "Oh, okay, we're back in Slaver's Bay or whatever." Like, oh, yeah, and everything was cool. Get the freak out of here.
How about when
I gotta say, as a comic book fan, I hated this season. It freaking sucked.
Yeah, I didn't think it was good.
Let's see. Let's start with the Night King. Everybody built up to this big fight for the Night King, and then what happened? Gets one stab. That's like going on a date with a hot girl. You build up for the night, and then you go in your pants.
Oh my God!
That's literally how that is. Like man.
Yes. That's why we have Cyon on this show.
Even Danny, you expect it to be some kind of more dramatic way to somebody's death. Cersei Lannister, her death. That's just corny.
That was so corny.
I wanted her to get roasted.
Arya should have got to kill Cersei.
Somebody should have killed her.
Not just
She got the cheap way out.
Hey, I know this was your purpose for like 5 years, but it's dangerous. Oh, thanks, Clegane.
Yeah,
thanks for the perspective.
All right. Good call, bro. I'm out.
Yeah.
What? Arya, you're the bravest person on the whole show.
Yeah, she's the most badass person on the show, and then she's just like, I'm going to go sailing the seas now.
She's like that girl. I'm going to travel abroad. You're Arya Stark.
At no point did she ever express any interest in
What
cartography.
happened to the list? What happened to the list? She had no interest in cartography.
Yep. She didn't complete the list.
Where's the list? The list was like the coolest thing, one of the coolest little storylines. They're just like, forget the list.
What was the point of Dorne? What was the point of Bran not being in a whole season? What was the point of the Night King? Like, why did you do all these things?
And then
she could turn into many faces. The point of she could turn into many faces was that she could kill Walder Frey. Who killed about Walder Frey?
That's exactly how this season was. If there was a comic book, I'd be asking for my money back.
Wow.
I'd be filing a complaint on eBay and say it's defective. I want my money back. It's not what was promised.
Did you sign the petition?
How about the prince that was promised? How about that bull crap? When did that come into play?
What's that?
The one of the main things was the prince that was promised, which is the guy who originally kills the Night King,
which they thought Jon Snow was supposed to be. Yeah.
But then, like that wasn't actually how it played out.
The Lord of Light, the king that was promised. It wasn't the prince. It was the king that was promised, which he thought was Jon Snow.
But they never sussed that out.
Yeah, even the whole Night King, not Night King, sorry, the Lord of Light. What is the Lord of Light? You expected to see something more about that.
Yeah.
She just shows up, lights the Dothraki swords on fire, lights up the pit on fire, and then dies.
Will he go?
Can Bran have children?
No.
Sansa
made that part.
That was hilarious.
She was
like, yeah, he doesn't work down there.
His thing don't work, yo.
Yeah. And they're like, it doesn't matter.
So
we'll just choose. They just said that they would choose the next kings after that.
Yeah.
They said they no longer would have kings have sons because they turned out to be
Joffrey.
Yes.
That doesn't sound like any sort of conflict going forward.
But you know what? What I never got, like, there's the whole season. Everybody was like, episode 5. Daenerys burned the city. Everybody was shocked.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Dude, there was no build-up.
Why? What are you talking about?
She locked up the dragons for killing one shepherd's kid for like months.
Okay. Let me explain this now. This is having a guy that have 5 sisters.
Oh, back with the sisters.
Yeah, they're kind of evil sometimes. I love them, but they're evil sometimes. But let's see. Now let's look at Dany's progression. 1, she's been running for her life since she's a baby, so she's abused.
Mm-hmm.
2, her brother sold her as a sex slave. 3, she watched a man burn her brother to death and smiled.
But he deserved that.
Now let's go back to my sisters. Now I say my sisters sometimes are evil to me. We're siblings. We're supposed to fight like cats and dogs. But at no point am I gonna watch somebody beat my sister's butt and just sit there and smile. Somebody gonna get killed because they're still your sister.
Well,
she watched her husband kill her brother and smiled.
He deserved it.
Listen.
Now
did you hear the sentence he said to her in the first season? We will not say on this show.
But still, you say a lot of things to your sister. Do you mean them? Well, maybe he meant.
Please paraphrase. Please paraphrase.
Basically, I would let every Dothraki person have you in that way if it meant I got the Iron Throne. You are nothing.
You have a sister, man?
No.
Oh, okay.
I have two brothers.
Who have a sister?
That was literally That was literally the one thing they did well in retrospect was building up Dany as a terrible villain. She grew up with Viserys, who's just awful.
Exactly.
All of those things that he just said. He didn't even talk about Missandei getting her head chopped off. Now, in that moment, in that couple episodes, they did it wrong. But the arc of the seasons, that was one of the best things they did was build her up as this completely psychotic, power-hungry, god figure who has dragons.
And then she was just gone in 30 seconds, though.
Hold on, with the dragons, I was so mad when the first dragon or the second dragon got killed, shot out of the thing. How does she not know how to use the dragons? Because I felt like the whole show they barely even knew how to use them, and then it's okay, maybe let's be away. Just fly over and go down.
Well,
makes
first
no
of
sense.
all, how the second dragon got killed? You got air view. How do you not see those ships?
Exactly. It was so stupid.
How do you just? You're in you got the aerial view, which is the best view. You seen everything up in front. You didn't see them ships coming. They just come out of nowhere and shoot you.
Well, there was a rock.
But apparently
the rock was 17 miles long, and they were just hiding behind it the whole time.
Oh yeah.
So
that's just stupidity. But okay, let's continue on Dany's progression to the biggest villain. Now, when she got the slaves from Slaver's Bay,
mm-hmm.
she gave the dragon, and then she bought the slaves, and then she told them kill all your former masters.
Yeah.
Which is betrayal right then. So she has no moral.
Well,
and also
for being slave owners, you could kind of justify that in this
But you just
world.
made a deal and sold the dragon.
No, but the missing point about that was Dany's successes came when she stopped listening to her advisors. And so many times throughout the show, she would listen to her advisors, and they would either lose or take massive losses. And Tyrion repeatedly screwed up. And even before that, that thing, they advised her not to do that to the slavers. And she was when Tyrion said, in retrospect, again, we kind of should have seen this coming. When Tyrion was ring the bells, Like, let innocent people die, and then she's like, no, every time I listen to you, something bad's going on. I've lost a dragon, or we've lost a city, or I come back with my dragons, and freaking Marine is getting firebombed. Like, no, everyone must die. The whole lot of them. I'm my dad. Everyone must die.
But the kids.
That was the one good thing they did.
The kids.
And I was rooting for everyone to die anyway.
Well,
I wanted everyone to die.
I was kind of pissed off the first 2 episodes. Nobody died.
Yeah.
The first 2 episodes, I was sitting there all excited, and it was like, damn.
To the end.
It was like anti-Game of Thrones the way it ended, because very few people died at any point, right? It was like they were just trying to protect them all the way through. When it's I think season 1 you lose
and other than
but then we figured out why.
There was no major, there was no death that like, ooh, that, something that jumps out at you.
Yeah.
Well, we also figured out why they kept him to the end, because they're clearly doing at least 4 spin-offs.
Oh gosh, no.
I ain't watching
3.
any of them.
There's supposed to be 3 spin-off as of right now.
Because they set up an
everyone.
Arya spin-off, a Jon Snow spin-off, a Bran spin-off, and all the Stark kids, basically.
Oh, the Bran spin-off. That's going to be an electric factory. Is Bran going to leave that show for like 2 seasons on end and say 4 words?
Why would they do that?
They're trying for our new ratings low. Okay, we have to go. Thanks. Maybe we'll do more Game of Thrones talk later.
Hey, stupid Star Wars fans, this is your fault. Because
nerds?
Yeah, because Benioff and Weiss got hired to do Star Wars, and then they sucked and wouldn't do 10 episodes like HBO wanted them to do. This is your fault.
And then there's
Star
coffee
Wars
cups
nerds
and water bottles on the set.
Well, Star Wars, I blame Disney.
You lightsaber
whatever.
losers.
Disney. No, it's not Disney's fault. No, it's not Disney's fault, because Disney is just doing what they can to make money. It's the Star Wars nerds that built it up.
Hey, Disney,
this started in 1977.
All those Marvel movies. Do not let me down.
Wow. All right, play the song then. We got to go. Play it.
Let's go do a Game of Thrones, and can we do that?
Go
do we have
Night King.
copyright music?
I can't believe Fat Samuel Tarly made it to the end.
Yeah.
Go Night King.
Come on, you knew Sam was gonna make it to the end.
That's
Well,
stupid.
Sam was like, "Hey, let's let everybody vote," and they were all like,
That was great that they laughed him off the stage.
Yeah.
Sam was
How
like,
many times
"How
was
about
Samuel
how about
Tarly like
democracy?"
basically dead, and then he's like getting trampled by dead things.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you cut to him and he's fine again. He should have been dead 12 different times. Sorry. Thanks. We'll be back Thursday. Willie won't be there. He's going to Italy. Him and Joe Kania having a romantic trip to Sassari, Italy. Thanks so much. Lots of content coming. We'll see you next time. Thank you, Cyon.
Later.
Cyon Grey.